Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today we're doing the hashtag paper stash smash. Okay guys, so welcome to the paper stash smash. This is a hashtag driven hop that is here to inspire you to smash your paper stash. And every month there's different sizes, and a whole team of us come together to share inspiration. And a lot of people share what they made, everything that they smashed and made from the last month. So you can get so many project ideas. And then they pick out what they're going to use for the next month. And it's just a really cool hop. I've kind of taken a different direction with it myself. And I come on and share projects to inspire you, give you some ideas of how you can smash your paper pad for the next month. So I have a fun sketch for you all this month, and this month we're using 6x6 paper. There is a playlist and the link down below, so make sure you check that out and go and see everything that is out there, all the inspiration, all the collaborators. Oh my goodness, this one's never even been opened. I have Christmas paper, retro paper. This one doesn't even have any identification. I have a lot of loose paper. I have a Prima paper pad. I love this one so much. Very vintage, pieces flying everywhere. This is an authentique. I almost used it up this month. But nope, I still have more. And I have this random glow one. I mean, just any random paper pad. So this one was from Not Too Shabby. All right, let's look at this. I have got a sketch for you that you can use for cards. I made this one right here. Super simple, super fun, and it's using 6x6 paper, and it doesn't have any scraps. So that's really nice. No scraps left behind. So let's take our paper, cut it up. And my idea for you is not that you have to follow this sketch or make this card. The idea that I have for you is more or less, if you could find a sketch or a few sketches, maybe you don't make 5x7, maybe you make A2s. The idea is that you'll take your paper and go ahead and decorate a whole bunch of card bases with a basic sketch. You don't have to go to finding like your focal point and your sentiment. This part you can leave off and have just a simple sketch. Okay, so let's make this card real quick so I can show you how simple and what the formula is. So I have a 5x7 card base. So let me go ahead and score this at 5. Now stick around because my next idea is more based on journals. So either way, you'll have some fun projects to work on with your 6x6 paper. Okay, so we've got a card base. Mine measures 5x7 because that's what I like. And I'm going to take my paper. I'm going to take a 6x6 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. There we go. This is going to go on our base just like this. Then you can take this leftover paper that measures 2x6. You're going to turn, and on the 6-inch side, you're going to cut at 1.5 inches. And you should get 4 pieces. Just like that. Now I'm going to pick a different paper because both sides are basically the same color and they're the same as my first pattern, so there's no contrast there. Let's pick a fun purple paper. Maybe this one. I'm going to cut this to 4 as well. I'm not changing any dimensions. This is why I made this a sketch for you guys. So basic and such a great way to use up 6x6 paper. Every time I cut my paper, my sheet of paper, I'm going to cut it the exact same way. So I'm going to cut this to 1.5 on the 6-inch side so that I can get 4 of these. Okay. Seriously, that's it. I'm going to need another card base already. So I say if you're going to do this, go ahead and fold up a bunch of your card bases in advance because you're going to go through them quite quickly. I have a bonus one for A2 card makers as well. But, you know, you grab a sheet load, grab Kendra's Card Challenge. I just wanted to make something so simple that you wouldn't be having to cut a whole bunch of different dimensions. I wanted to keep that aspect of it real simple. So I'm going to use these 4 pieces for this card, and I'm going to use these 4 pieces for this card. So let's do this. So my idea for you, my dears, is that you just sit down, you cut up a whole bunch of these, and you just get them ready to use. So maybe one day, which we're going to be talking about this more and more, if you have low mojo, you already have this much done, you could sit down and stamp. Like I recently got the Dina Wakley moon stamps. I could totally see using my moon stamps with this paper. Okay, I'm going to take these 1.5 by 2-inch pieces and I'm gluing these right on top. Now I'm eyeballing it because for me that is good enough. You can measure if you want. I just don't want to. As far as like finding a perfect center or whatever, for me, my eyeballs can get it close enough. Okay, now I just thought it was fun to put these pieces on top, but you could most certainly glue these down first and put your matted layer on top. You can do it any way you want. Any way that makes you happy. So there's versatility here. Now by doing this, I obviously want to add another layer to this, which will kind of bridge all these different pieces together. If you just went through, even if you didn't get to the point of gluing all these down, can you imagine how quick this would go as far as even just cutting your paper? You go cut all your paper so quickly. And then maybe, you know, sit in front of the TV one evening and glue them down. If you had a big project, like if you needed to make a bunch of cards for a group of people, this would be a great project. Or if you make a lot of Christmas cards every year, this would be such a great way to use up your stash and get things glued down. Okay, and she's back. So doing the same things here. You could also use a T-ruler if you like for this to line everything up. I'm just not the most particular crafter you've ever met. That's all. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, we just all do what we do. All right. So at this point, you could stop and you could just smash your paper pads, cut them all up, and make a whole bunch of bases that are basically like this. Or, you know, you could take it that one step further and add this mat here. I actually need to measure this mat because I don't remember what size I made that. But I tried to make these in sizes that, so this is a 3 by 5. Yeah, I tried to make these in sizes where you could get the most out of your paper. So if you took a 12 by 12 sheet and cut 3 by 5 pieces, you could get 6 of these mats from one, you could get 8 of these mats from one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So you could find a coordinating cardstock. All right, so there is that idea. Let's move on to the next. I don't want to take up too much of your time because, you know, this is a hop. There's a lot of people. All right, depending on the weight of your paper, some are thicker than others. This one is not too thick. You can make journal pages with 6 by 6 paper, plus decorate journals with 6 by 6 paper. Let's see, this is an old Authentique from 2016. What is it called? I don't know. But anyways, it's cute. It's like a, I don't know, it just reminds me of like a 50s diner kind of retro vibe paper pad. And it was a 12 by 12 and I cut it down to 6 by 6 a long time ago. Stay sassy. So these are thin enough that these could definitely be turned into some journal pages. So let me show you that. Then let's decorate a journal real quick. Now I will tell you that I made a whole journal in April and I decorated the pages of the journal with card sketches. And when you do this, you could use up a whole bunch of 6 by 6 paper doing this. So this journal doesn't really have a theme other than card sketches as a decoration, and I used paper dolls. This is a 6 by 6 piece of paper right here. See? That I took, well, I cut it, it was 6 by 6 and I trimmed it down to fit on my page. But see how this piece here is 6 inches. All I did was score at 3 inches and fold it down. And then I glued on 3 sides to make a pocket in my journal. And it's cute because it has this little flip up. But this would be another way. This is all 6 by 6 paper that I took to decorate these journal pages. This is 6 by 6. All of these would work. So you can definitely take your 6 by 6 paper and decorate your journal pages. Now this was 12 by 12. That's how I got it big enough to go across 2 pages. But you could use your 6 by 6 paper pads to decorate your journals. All of these, you know, with card sketches. If you want to know more about this, there's 3 videos on my channel where you can watch me make this whole thing start to finish. But most definitely that would be another way to use your 6 by 6 paper. Okay, so another thing I came up with in April was rolling journal pages. So let's make some rolling journal pages. In case you missed that tutorial, there's only a million people, a million crafters on YouTube. So you may have missed it and I totally understand. I probably would have missed it too. So I'm just going to grab a sheet from all of these because I have plenty. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab some book pages from old gutted books. Let me just find where I put those. I think I put them up already. Like a good little crafter. I sure did. Now I will tell you, I did my rolled pages with some thicker 6x6 and I didn't like it as much. And I'm thinking this one might be a little thick too. As far as combining papers, I think I like the same kind of weighted papers with each other. When it came to using my pages, I used them recently. I took the 3-minute journal. Here it is. These are the rolled journal pages. And I didn't love the different weights together. I like the same weighted papers together. So I think what I will do, so this is one that had the cardstock. I think we'll make some rolled journal pages with just 6x6 paper. If you want to see this, it's on my channel. Okay, let's use this. You don't have to tear it. I'm just choosing to tear it, but you don't have to tear it. I couldn't tear up those little girls or that hello darling. Okay. I know. We tore it up and now we're going to put it back together again. But that's okay because we'll get some different patterns and different, you know, kind of interest. Now, if you want your pages to be a certain size, like, you know, 8.5 by 11 kind of size, pull out a sheet of 8.5 by 11 and kind of use that as your marker. So I've got this 8.5 by 11 and I'm just using it to make sure that I assemble these in a way that'll kind of fill up that size paper. Now the thing about a rolling journal page is that it just kind of doesn't stop. I mean, eventually it can stop, but the idea is that it can be any size. And I saw a comment that I just loved. There was a crafty friend who said she had been wanting to make a junk journal out of a pizza box, but really struggled because she couldn't find papers that size. But now, because she can do the rolling journal pages, she was like, I'm so excited because now I can make my own pages and they'll definitely fit in the pizza box cover. And I thought, oh yes, that's the spirit. So they can be any size you want. They don't have to be 8.5 by 11. So I just wanted to show you that because I didn't show that initially, right? So it's not going to be 11 because I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to use this portion, the 8.5, to make sure that I have it tall enough. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. Let me zoom you guys out just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so sometimes we're so precious about our papers and our stash that we struggle to use it. I think doing something like this is very freeing when you just take a pile of your paper, you know, like I did, and just tear it. Just tear it and allow yourself to use it. It's very freeing. So I'm just putting glue here because I want it to go right there and then across here. And it looks like my page will be a little short up there, but I'm not worried about that. Then I'll take this and glue it here. Now, I do want to make sure I don't glue anything to my template. What's really exciting about this is that these are double-sided papers. So look at the other side. Both sides are going to be so much fun. And now I'm going to move this down, and I'm just going to keep going. And the reason, let's use this side. I haven't used this side yet. The reason I'm calling this the rolling pages is because the idea is that you can take your pages and roll them up, and you can make a paper roll, and you just keep going and going. And then when you need paper for a journal or a project, you can just trim this down to size. Let's use these dogs. I haven't used them yet either, and they're so cute. I really do love this paper pad. It's just fun. Let's not cover Johnny's face. All right. There we go. This page seems like it wants to go right there. Ooh, I love these. I am having so much fun with this concept, you guys. And, you know, I think I have so much 6x6 paper in my stash, and I make 5x7 cards, and I make junk journals. And I've always kind of felt like, man, I really don't get use, and I stopped buying 6x6 paper like over a year ago. I just don't even buy it anymore because I have so much, and I just don't feel like it's all that useful and the kind of projects that I want to make. But I'm really trying to bust my stash of 6x6 paper, and I'm feeling very liberated because I have started coming up with ways to use it in my 5x7 cards and my junk journals. And, you know, let's definitely use the things that are in our stash, right? I think everybody's trying to do that. And it's wonderful. I'm very much on board. I have a huge stash that I need to use too. Okay. You just want to kind of be mindful about where you're going to want to put your glue. What I always recommend is that you hold your hand on the sides you don't want to put glue. So let me demonstrate that for you. I'm going to show you our rolling paper, and then I'm going to let you go. I wanted to see how much we could roll in a short period of time, because that's the other thing about this. This would be a great low mojo project to work on. If you're not feeling like you have a lot of mojo, but you want to be in the craft room, this would be a great project to work on. And it's something you could just keep going. Like every time you have scraps left over from a paper pad from a project you're working on, you could just tack them on to your roll. So like here, we're kind of ending, that's all the paper that I tore. And so now you could just keep adding on to it. So the next time you cut paper in a project, you just keep going and going. And once your paper is dried enough, you can roll it up pretty tight. And you'll have a whole roll of paper to use and work with. So look at all of this. So much paper already, all rolled, and that was all 6x6 and nothing else. And now we have this 8.5 by, I don't even know how long this is, sheet of paper. 12. This is going to be a rough measurement here. 24 and 8. I can do math. I think that's 32. So, yeah, a lot. That's 8.5 by 32. Okay, so grab your 6x6 paper, you guys, and make some rolling pages with it. Decorate your journals with it. You know, have some fun. Make yourself just a whole bunch of card bases, and you can come back and figure out what you want as your focal point later, you know, but just fill up a bunch of card bases with a really basic sketch like this one. I'm going to leave all the dimensions linked for you, or not linked, but in the description box down below. Okay, so here we are. I have nothing left. I've already smashed a whole 6x6 paper pad. I mean, it wasn't complete, but it had a lot of pages in it. I used this sketch and I just gave myself a bunch of card bases. So we made these together, and then I used that paper pad and made all of these. So I still had to put that 3x5 piece here in the middle. I think it's going to be fun to go like on a scavenger hunt through my stamps and see what I want to combine with these papers, but they're pretty neutral and lots of fun. So I think this sketch would lend itself to a lot of things. Now I mentioned an A2 sketch, and we'll just have to come back and do that another time. But I also want to show you my rolling pages. Now you can, once these are dry, roll these up pretty tight like this, okay? And then if you just want to keep this like on your desk somewhere or something, you can take a paper clip. It does not need to be this big, but it's just the quickest one I could grab. And you can paper clip your roll together. I ended up adding the rest of this paper pad to this roll. And so here is what I have. It just keeps going and going. And this is why I call it a rolling paper, because I have to roll it up. It gets so long. Okay. So look, I don't even know. I've lost track of how long this roll is. But it's mighty long. So I hope you guys found inspiration here with me today. I hope you find lots of inspiration on the hop. I do every single month. I love hopping and seeing what everyone has made. There are some amazing crafters in this group. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, you guys. I truly appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.